Alright people, welcome back. So this is what we got for you today. We got our trusty Husky 38-piece set. Let's open this up so you can see inside. Bam! I'm missing my screwdriver and my socket with a 14. But it's not really missing because it's over here. I already pre-took the clutch off, because as you can see, it was extremely rusty, and when I first started this video, I couldn't even get it off. Other things you'll need is just like a bar or pipe like this to fit inside these little slots to lock it up so you can take the clutch off. As you can see, this variator's already been shot. I just need to take the nut off, which is rusted on there, but this variator is gone. So what we're going to do today, people, is just pretty much show you the basics of this. The basics of a 50, what you'll need to know, and pretty much we're going to start getting into more details with these videos, upgrading them and what they can do. My plan is to get not this 50, but my 50 that's on my bike now up good enough where I could start challenging Groms, flat out. I talked to a lot of people. They say their speeds are in between 60, and that's pretty much the stock ones, all the way up to, like, I think one dude said he had his Grom at like 70 miles an hour, and that was with a power commander, a pipe. He said he had some other shit done to it, but we're not gonna do all that. So this is a I don't know if you can see that too good, but it's a 1P39 QMB engine. And let's get into the video. If you like today's video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and let's start. Alright, so we're gonna take off the brake cable that sits right here. What you will need, just a pair of pliers to actually get in here and lift the spring back so you can clamp it right here, and then you should be able to just untwist it with your hand. If you got some girl hands, you probably can't. You got some man hands, you could. This is even slightly rusted a bit, and I'm still getting it with mine. So that's just to show you. The only thing you need the pliers for is to hold the back end so it doesn't keep spinning in place. You remove the nut, let go, and just slide it through. Shouldn't have left this thing in the rain so much. You want to remove this. You don't want to lose this, because this is very crucial to your back brake. This is exactly why you don't want to leave your stuff in the rain for long periods of time without using it. Because stuff like this happens, and instead of being a 30-second pull off, it turns into a 2-minute fight situation. But we got it off. And this pretty much your back brake setup all the way to the front. I've been disassembled the bike. If you would like to see that process, just shoot me a comment. Let me know you want to see that process, and I'll go ahead and make another video for you. So now that we got the back brake set up off, what you want to do is stick the spring back on, and stick your, I want to say your blocker plate back on, and put your nut back on, because you really don't want to lose this system or this setup. Now, let's swing this back around. This is why I like to work with engines off the frame, because it's a whole lot easier to get to. You want to put your 5/16 away and grab a 10 to take the manifold and the carburetor off together. Simply slide it up and remove it like that, and you are good. Now with the nuts, I suggest you put them back on, and for me, I just leave the spacer in there, because I really don't need to get to it, so we just leave the spacer there. Now once you have this like this, now what you want to start doing is removing this plastic case. So let's start right here. I think they're all 5/16 to remove it. Yep. But yeah, people out there, I mean, I'm not knocking them, because the grums are nice, they really are, but for the price, it's not. So you're gonna tell me I'm gonna have to drop $4,800 to get a Honda Grom, a stock Honda Grom at that, with no pipe, no nothing, no shorty clutch, no breakaway levers, no handbrake in the front, for $48. And like, you can get the Chinese knockoff in between 15 to, I seen even some of them go for like 20. Half the price of a Grom. And they do the same shit, it's just the bolt qualities are not as good. Everything else, I tend to find it pretty much lined up with a Grom, except for the bolts. The bolts was crappy, they would vibrate loose, they would break. So I'd say outside of that, and you buy a Chinese one, and you, before you start doing all your crazy stuff like I was doing, you just replace all the bolts. Spend an extra, like, I don't know, $50, $60 at a hardware store, and replace all the bolts to some good ones. For me, they're right up there with the Grom. And I'm like, well, I'm going to pay $48 for something that I can get the same for half the price. It just doesn't make sense to me. But, like I say, the Honda Groms are nice, but I'm going to challenge them with my 50 and pretty much see who's better. So now that we got the case off, what you can do so you don't lose your bolts is pretty much you could put the case back together. all the screws back in except for one. One's not going to make it because it actually has to connect right here. So all we do to fix that, people, is we put it right back in there. What you don't want to do is start taking stuff apart and then losing screws. That's bad, because when you go to put it back together, you can't find what you need. It's not a fun feeling. See if I go ahead and remove this. Yeah. Oh, it broke off pretty easy. I guess the rust hasn't fully set. No, yep, it did. Back there, at least. It's pretty much a Variator, 50cc Variator. It sits like this. Normally I have guide pins right here that slide along this. Oh. Like this little piece right here. It'll sit right here like that. And will slide up and down depending on how fast you're going and everything. Inside here be some rollers. I don't have any, so make do what we got. Put the nuts back on. Like I say, really don't want to lose nothing. Now let's get to this. Now we're going to take the front cover off. We're going to expose the rocker arms and the camshaft with the timing chain. Oh, it's hot out here, people. Today in Miami is definitely hot. Look at that. Nice seal. Okay. So welcome back. We got the cover off. Now how you adjust the valves is you will need, I just had it. I'm always losing stuff, people. Oh, here we go. This is what you would need. This is the brand. I have Autocraft, but these are feeler gauges. So you could check the rocker arm to see if it's too tight or if it's too loose. Now how you want to check is you want to put your engine at top dead center. Top dead center is I already have my cover off. It's simple, 2 screws, one right here, one right there at the bottom, right here on the engine, and right here on the other side. You would want to rotate this until the T matches up with this line right here. Let's take you off top dead center. You have markings on the cam, which is this hole, this big hole, and another small one right here as well. Now what you want to do is when it's lined up, these 2 holes should be flat lined with this block. So let's come back around. Are we on? We spin it around. Make sure we're top dead. We're top dead center. So the big circle would be facing in the back. I think this is a stock cam. And everything seems really tight. So I don't know, maybe that's off. Let's spin it again. You see how with me spinning it, it pushes and contracts. This is a 4-stroke, so that means every time I spin this 4, this so with that being done, we already took apart the back brake, we took the clutch off, we took the variator off, we showed you top dead center and the timing on here. To make sure this is top dead center, your rocker should be able to move just a little bit. Your timing chain, it wiggles, but it doesn't move. Now what you want to do for a stock 50, I find a 0.004 or a 0.12 millimeter is perfect for a stock 50. So what you would want to do is slide it in there, and if it slides really easy, and the bottom slides really easy, that means these valves are loose. You would want to adjust them. If you have a pretty much a performance one with the 100cc big bore kit and everything like that, you would want to use a 0.5 to slide it in, which this one feels like it was set at a 0.5 and the exhaust is loose. The exhaust feels like maybe like a 6. So let's check that. Boom, 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 boom. 6. Exhaust. Yep. The exhaust is set at a 6. I don't know if it came loose, but the top is a 5. The bottom is a 6. So let's go ahead and remove this as well. It's a 10mm bolt. Now what you want to do is you can just remove this. It wouldn't be a problem, but you would want to loosen your chain tensioner, or possibly even take it off. when you loosen it up enough, the spring will come out. The pressure will still be there. You don't have to take the whole nut out. You could just loosen it up a great amount and it'll be good. But you do have to remove the whole top. That's one thing you do have to do. Break the seal. And then what I suggest, like I say in all, put the screws right back in place. Bam, bam, bam. Now your chain, your timing chain right here should just be floating. You could pretty much lift it up, it drops down. Your chain seems a little bit loose, like you could take it off if you wanted to. That's what you want to see. And then you get back to the removing of these 4 screws or nuts. Now what you want to remember is the F is upside down and the E is at the bottom. The top is fire, the bottom is exhaust. That's why it has an S and an F. Fire or start, exhaust or extinguish. I don't know what the X is for. I forgot which country. But whatever. The E and the F is for the English. You just want to loosen them. As soon as you loosen them quite a bit, you should notice that this would tend to rock. Well, it would basically roll a little bit, and that's basically taking all the pressure out of the engine, essentially from the piston to the head, removing all the air in between. Remove the nuts and washers. You have your nuts and washers. Suggest you just stick them inside there. That way you don't have to worry about them. Along with your timing chain. And you put the nut back in it, and as you push the nut back in it, you will see it extends all the way, and you could even loosen it up to this point, but as long as that spring is in there, it's just going to shoot up every time, and that's what applies pressure to your timing chain. You remove it, stick it off to the side. Normally I'll stick everything pretty much together. Now you would notice on the inside you have 2 of these. You have one right here and one right here on the opposite side. Remember where they go, because it's pretty much important that they go back in the same spots they came from. Now, removing this, a couple people will suggest you simply put a zip tie on the other side, just in case it slides back into the engine casing. You don't really got to go fishing for it as bad. If it's there, you'll just simply pull it out. It's pretty nice. but we're not going to do that today. We're just going to remove it. This is your cam. Now when you remove this, you should, is it this one or the bottom one? No, the bottom one. So you should be able to not remove the head at the moment. You can keep something in your timing chain so it doesn't fall back in. And now you can remove these two bolts right here, which are 5/16. And when you remove these two bolts, it should allow you to remove the whole head. It's a hot day out here, people. Definitely a hot day. This bolt is pretty long. And this one is too. Same length, so it doesn't matter which one you put it back in, as long as it goes in this side. Not every bolt is the same size. So now, what you want to do is simply just slide it up, stick whatever you're going to block your timing chain from falling back into the engine, and fully remove it. Oh, now what you want to see is when you remove it, oil starts to fall down from certain places. That means your engine, your oil pump is still working properly and you ain't got to worry about it. Now what you pretty much don't want to see too much is this. How this is all black on the inside. That means it's been firing too rich, and the unburnt gases pretty much just clogs up on there. Same as right here. Let's see if we can get in there and show you on the piston itself. So as you can see on the piston itself, there's a lot of burn marks and it's top dead center. So that means we took apart the engine properly, because if this was down here at the bottom, I don't know what they say really does to the engine, but it messes it up a little bit. Like, you'll never be able to get that original power that you could get from it back again. But outside of that, we have it. And now, to do this, you simply would repeat the same process. Slightly lift this up a little bit. You also can remove the bottom timing chain guide. You can remove it, and then you would simply just break this seal, slide it up a bit, loop it like this so the timing chain couldn't fall inside the case, and simply remove this whole thing. And we're gonna get some videos of installing a big bore kit to one of these shortly. I ordered the parts. They're gonna be coming in between now and I think the last part is due to arrive August the 21st. August the 21st, the last of the last parts will be arriving. So I want to say August the 22nd, I will be putting a video up of installing the big bore kit and everything that I bought. And then definitely gonna go for the ride on the 23rd. September the 23rd. So yeah, stay tuned. We got some more stuff lined up for the channel. I mean, if you have any questions, would like me to go into deeper detail about anything, removing the stator, this fan, the fan cover, I didn't remove it because it's simple. I'll just go ahead and show you now. 2 bolts, the fan comes off. It exposed, there's a nut right here for the stator, but you do need a stator puller to remove that. If you do not have a stator puller, you will not be able to remove the stator. Over here, let's go ahead and knock out a couple questions before they even come. You got your Bendix that sits inside here, and this is your starter motor, the gear for it. The starter motor itself is right here. This is the gear. It sits on the Bendix, and when you apply your electric start, is what starts your bike electrically. Through here, there's like a little fan gear that's not on here at the moment, but it pretty much applies it to that and starts the bike. Outside of that, if you want to know how to replace your back gear oil, you could simply remove this nut right here, or you can remove this one. But you have to remove both right there and there, because this will release the gear oil, and this is how you would put it in. You would release it until there's nothing left in there. Then you would squirt some in right here until it starts to drip out. You would have, of course, you would have the bike pretty much assembled, not like this. And you would spin the tires to get the gears moving a little bit, to kind of flush all the bad gear oil out. And then when it comes out clear again, you would put this back on, and you would just put all the gear oil through here until it starts dripping out. You let it sit until it's not dripping no more. Wipe it down, put the nut back in, and you're good. That's how you change the back gear oil. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to let me know. Drop a comment. Thank you for watching Scooter Met Willie. Until next time, people.